If you right-click him, you can go to his user volume and change it.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I'll probably just leave the.
Like, just let your ears get blasted.
Yeah, no. That's not what I'm saying. I was gonna say I was gonna put some recording on, but yeah, I'll just leave him to be like recording on.
Okay.
No. I can mute him. Yeah, let's mute that.
Oh, not mute him. Just you can change how loud he is.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I'll give him a 27%.
Yeah, that's about where I put him.
Yeah, he's a nice 27%er.
27%er.
Yeah. Basically wanted to. I asked the boys earlier. I was like, "Yo, we need to get a boys Discord in here and just start shooting the shit."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Dude, I just cracked a yerba. Have you ever had a yerba?
No, what's a yerba?
It is like
Oh, is that a tea?
base. Yeah, it's called a yerba mate. I believe you call it.
Yes, I do know what a yerba is. Yeah,
I don't know if I'm saying that correctly.
me neither.
But the revelberry flavor, not bad.
Okay. I poured a glass of whiskey.
Oh, nice. I thought
So,
about grabbing a beer, but I was like, I'm just gonna get sleepy.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, sometimes I will have a beer and then um, I'll put something to watch on TV and I'll eat and have a beer and then at the end of the meal I'm asleep.
Yeah.
Like,
I'll have a
if
beer, I'll have a meal, I'll have a sleep.
yeah, like if I just get horizontal at all, it's like I'm out. Unless I'm actually trying to sleep through the night, and then no,
Oh,
it's like
Shell hates it because I'm like, we're like, we want to watch a movie, and I'm like, well, let's be realistic. It's 7:30. I'm like, yes, like you said, if I go horizontal at all, these eyes are going shut.
yeah,
But I don't fall
yeah.
asleep at the movie theater.
Well, it's a chair. I mean, it's reclined, but
Yeah.
it's not like downstairs we have like a fold out bed that's like if a movie's on, like the bed's folded out. And so we really are just like in bed.
Dude, tell me more about any renovations you've done to the tiny home or anything like that.
I haven't.
Okay,
Nothing,
perfect.
nothing to say.
Well,
Um,
you do or you did build a tiny home though.
yeah. It's about 400 square feet, little under. Which actually I found out after building it is the minimum county size.
Oh,
So yeah, so that's good, I guess, if we ever wanted to um uh well if we ever wanted to permit it. Um because it's not.
yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, there's things we need to do, but I don't know, the property might get sold in a few years. And so we're like continually asking ourselves how much more money we want to put into it. It's like we could put another 3 grand into it, and then it gets sold. And we're like, fuck.
Yeah,
Or but
that
we
and
we also just talked about moving it, which we could do. Just,
the because then you got to think too, like when the land gets sold, is your tiny home that's adding a ton of value to that property, in my opinion.
yeah, it is a third livable dwelling. You know,
Like,
um,
and it's new. Like,
yeah, but it's also I would say it's 90% up to code.
Sure.
It's if it would have to be like inspected and stuff. Really, in the average citizen's eyes, it probably does add value, but it's also not permanent, so that is kind of a problem for a buyer. Yeah, but we have talked about if we aren't really, if we don't have an option to move somewhere else, we had also talked about like renting some big piece of equipment and just moving it onto some nearby property. Because Courtney has multiple family members with property around here. She's holding an ice cream cone to my face right now. I'm gonna take this opportunity.
Okay.
Hmm.
Well, that's cool that you have potential options at least.
Yeah.
I know that we had talked about that in Mini the other day. Just like, can you just pick that shit up and move it?
Well, originally when it started being built, it was by the main house where her dad's staying, and they put it on these large wooden skids and dragged it like through the woods 500 feet to where it is now. So it would probably be the same sort of thing. The only issue is there's a lot of hills to get to other locations where we might want to have it. And dragging a house over a hill is like just a recipe to break it in half. So we're gonna have to figure out something. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, in the meantime, what other projects are you doing? I mean, I know you're currently doing the NFT stuff. Are you still doing the coding stuff?
Yeah, I've still been doing some coding. Coding, not coding. Two
Oh,
totally different things.
wait,
Um,
wait,
Mainly,
wait. Back up. Wait, what?
I said coding, not codeine. Two
Oh,
totally
okay.
different
I was
things.
like, I preferably both. Like while you're coding, you're on codeine.
Isn't that like? Doesn't that make you sleepy?
Yeah, but you fight the sleep. I think that's where,
Oh, is that what gets you high?
yeah,
Huh.
you gotta be sipping on syrup while you're
Yeah.
creating the new NFT. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's how everybody does it.
You gotta
That's
be
why there's
double
so many
cupped.
scams.
Yeah, that's exactly it. That's security.
Everybody needs coding money.
Put your money into codeine.
Coding stocks are up.
It's safe. You
It's a
can't
long-term play.
it can't crash.
Low risk, high reward.
Very high reward. Yeah, very right.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been learning some Python though for the last few months. And
Okay, explain what that is because I don't know.
oh, Python is a coding language, a programming language. Um, it's probably one of the most popular ones, just because it's pretty easy to use. It's pretty straightforward. Um, there's like programming languages where you type something in and it's like colon parenthesis dash ab dot, like it's just a garbage mess of things, and Python is like string. It's it's
Okay,
word
okay, it's a little bit
instead of
more user friendly.
more user friendly. Totally. Um,
Now, what exactly are you what do you build with Python? Just like the normal website or
no, Python is more of like a software language. So websites are usually more like HTML, Java, CSS. Uh, um, what I'm doing in Python is I got really fascinated by like computer or like AI generated artwork.
yeah, you've
The
showed me some of
first,
that.
yeah, the first guy who I saw doing it was a guy named Tyler Hobbs, who, if you follow generative artists at all, You've probably heard of him. I saw him the first time I saw him was on Reddit, and he creates these really amazing pieces using what are called flow fields. And so flow fields are essentially just a huge grid of points, and then every grid or every point points to another point, which which sounds kind of confusing, but it moves in a very similar way to grass in the wind. If you animate it, he doesn't usually animate them. But if you can picture grass in the wind, that's sort of what you get when you start messing around with flow fields. And so he'll put, um, like one shape for each, in this example, blade of grass. Um, and I don't know, just mess around in all kinds of ways with that base model. And he's been doing it for probably over a decade now.
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah, he creates really amazing stuff. He also uses these things called, what are they called? Plotters. He uses these things called plotters, and it's essentially like a pen hooked up to a robot arm. And so you'll run your code and the robot will draw an image for you.
Okay.
Yeah. And a lot of people do that, not just Tyler Hobbs. That's a big part of the generative art world. And even there were plotters before computers, if I remember right. Computers as we know them today. There were plotters where you would put in like a punch card and you'd run the punch card and then the plotter would draw based off of what was on the punch card.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so punch cards were kind of like early ways of storing memory or even running code in early computers, and hopefully I got that right. Um, Similar to how like um, a player piano works, just reads the holes in the paper and
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Almost like a Scantron.
Yeah, totally like a Scantron, except
Dude.
with like holes instead of number 2 pencil marks.
Yeah, what's up with the number 2 pencil thing? Also, I changed my mic. I
I
realized.
could tell.
Is it way better?
It is better, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that's a good test. That's what this is for.
Yeah.
Um.
To talk about number 2 pencils though, it's because if I remember right, going in the right order, number 1 is not dark enough, and number 3 smears.
Oh. So there's
Yeah,
actually a why behind that.
there is. And it might be the opposite direction. It might be like number 3 is not dark enough, and number 1 smears.
Can it not pick up ink?
Like the scanner.
Yeah, like why couldn't? Oh, I guess
Well,
you
I think
wouldn't
the
want to use
problem
pen
is
because if you wanted to erase your answer.
exactly. And the problem is if it smudges and now you've marked A and B, the computer's just going to mark it as incorrect. So you really want something that doesn't smudge as much. Any pencil's going to smudge, but number 2 is pretty.
Number 2 is just for you.
Number 2 is just for you. Yeah, exactly. Man, standardized tests.
Bro, how trash was that?
When I was in 4th grade, my 4th grade teacher told the principal, he's like, "Yeah, I'm not going to give my kids this. They're going to watch movies all week instead." And so we did.
No way.
Yeah. And they were like historical movies and documentaries and stuff. Yeah, but he was like, "No."
Yeah, because we aren't even graded on that.
Yeah.
You could bullshit the whole thing.
Yeah, I kind of see the reason for it because you do want to know if um like they put laws in place of how things are supposed to be taught and you want to know if those are working, and so you have to test to make sure that they're working. But yeah, a lot of it seemed like we were learning for the standardized test instead of learning for the sake of learning.
Yeah, I wish you could go back and basically ask kids like 4 years later, like, hey, these You know, in like the fifth grade when you did the
Yeah.
Scantron, did you
Yeah.
just bullshit all that? And then if everyone just said yeah, then you would know.
Yeah. Yeah, really they should be uh just doing a questionnaire, right?
Yeah.
Like they should give a questionnaire to fifth graders and be like, "Did you answer?" Although they would probably feel like they're going to get in trouble, and then they would just answer what they expected.
Like, fuck yeah, I answered.
Yeah.
Bro, what's up with this Russia shit?
Dude, it's been stressing me out.
Yeah?
Yeah, because it was like it was, and I'm sure this was the case for a lot of people, but it was happening in real time. It wasn't like, um,
Exactly.
a random article you would read. It was, Ukrainians with smartphones and access to social media, like uploading what was happening and like uploading, the very first bombs that hit were like up. They hit social media first.
Before
And
the
so it's,
news.
yeah, it's the strange. I feel like we haven't really experienced a war like this, where people are um, people are sharing what's happening in real time, and it's only been 4 days now. I think. When did it hit? Thursday. Okay, maybe it's 4 days. About it happened our Wednesday night and their Thursday. I think.
Yeah, I was having a conversation with someone and it's gonna be crazy because this is gonna be a war that's live streamed on Twitch.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah.
like never before has that ever been a possibility.
Yeah.
Um and I was also, we had a conversation of like it seems like you and I have only been around for 25, 28 years, basically.
Yeah.
Um, we've
I like
gone
how we're an
through.
age apart, and you're still. You're like, we'll put a big gap.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm like, I don't know. I don't fucking
Or
know how
you're
old I am anymore. I'm like, am I 26 or what? 26? What? I'm 26. You're 27.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So
A guy
exactly.
asked me when he checked my ID how old I was, and I had to think about it. And I was like, fuck. I've made fun of people for this.
Oh, dude, I couldn't remember. Like, I was talking to someone at work, and I was like, am I 25 or 26?
Mm-hmm.
And I can't look at like someone's date on their ID and be like, "Oh, you're 19." Like, I don't
Right.
know that
Yeah.
shit. Like, I can't.
Yeah. What's 2022 minus 1994? It's like, I don't know.
Yeah. But basically, we were just talking. It seems like, at least from my perspective, I don't know what the history books timeline is like, but the um, the amount of crazy things that have happened in our lifetime, I feel like have been escalated because of socials, because of the smartphone, because of like all of these things that like all this information is being, like you said, like it's immediate. There's
Yeah.
no
It's all real
um
time.
and like back in the day or even 10 years ago, you like watched the news like and you would get it from three sources. Now it's like
Yeah.
Twitter. Now you
Yeah.
open up
Right.
Twitter. Like I watched ABC News live from TikTok for like an hour and a half. Like that's how I'm getting my news now is through TikTok.
Yeah.
And I never thought that that's where I would be watching and getting information from.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, how biased is this? Like,
Exactly. I was gonna bring that up. Because I saw, and it actually, ironically, it was a Twitter thread, um, posted on another social media. Right, right. There's always that where it's like, oh, it's a Twitter thread, but it's on Reddit or
yeah, it
whatever.
was stolen from this. Look what I
Yeah,
found on Reddit, posted to Twitter.
yeah, yeah. And it was this like 12 thread tweet, um, and all of it was just this guy. What do you call it? He was basically like flagging different videos that people have been uploading, saying such and such is from Ukraine, or like this is from Russia, and he's like, no, this is from 2014. It wasn't in Ukraine. Like, stop saying this about this video. And it was like 12 of those, and that was probably just what he could find in an hour, And I think people definitely believe social media more than they should. Like, they're like, oh, 6,000 people like this. Like, oh, it must be credible. It's like, nope, that was from Syria in 28. Yeah, 2008.
Yeah, I'm also seeing things like the same thing you're talking about, of American press in Russia, and they're going up to people in Moscow, and I've seen it on both sides of like people going up to them in Ukraine and going up to Moscow, and people seem like they're not even stressing, like they're perfectly fine. They're asking people in Ukraine, like, is this as intense as America sees it? And they're like, I don't, like, no, they don't. This guy was like, I don't believe that this is gonna be as insane as everyone thinks it is.
Yeah,
and I don't know where to believe, And at the same time,
totally.
I was telling Shell last night, I'm like, that's the same shit as Nazi Germany, though. Like,
totally.
And sometimes you're like, yeah, well, are they just telling everyone that it's okay? Or are we watching shit that? It's so weird. It's so
yeah. Well,
like,
even during World War II, like there was enough propaganda that there were people in the United States that were like pro Hitler.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there still are. Like, propaganda works.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
So it's I was in the same boat as you. I'm like, I'm stressing. In the first day or so, I was like, what's going on?
Yeah.
I'm watching the news.
I'm a little less stressed out seeing like how much of a fight Ukraine is putting up.
Same.
And how outdated Russia's military actually is.
They look really stupid.
Yeah, they do. They do. And I was also reading like they like just don't really treat their soldiers well. Like their soldiers aren't paid well, aren't fed well, and aren't treated well. And it's like there's there's squads of soldiers that surrendered to Ukrainians. Or they went there and they were like, we weren't told we weren't told we were going to be fighting you guys. That was a quote from a Russian soldier. He was like, we weren't told we were going to be fighting Ukrainians. It's like, what?
What did you think?
Yeah.
Where'd you think you're gonna go?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I told that to someone yesterday. I was like, Russia looks really dumb in my perspective. They look really weak.
Yeah.
Because they're not able to take anything, and it's like, why your plan isn't working. So
yeah.
And at this point, they can't just back down because then they look even worse.
Yeah. And they've also, if they do, it's like they have wasted billions, trillions of dollars for nothing.
Yeah.
I would rather that happen. But I don't expect it to, which is, it's unfortunate. Really, what would really be the best is if the military sides with the people in the streets that are calling for it to end. And I don't know, maybe a coup happens, maybe it doesn't.
So did you also read about like, I don't even know if I read this, but let me rephrase what I'm asking. Did this affect Ukrainian banks, and did those banks fail? Because I know that a lot of people were like pulling money out in disasters. So how does that work?
I have no idea.
Because I saw this quote about crypto, and it was like, imagine being in a situation where your banks fail, your money is no longer useful, and you have to flee to another country, but
Yeah.
you've got like $30,000 in ETH. It's like now your money is safe. It's
Yeah.
no longer in a bank because now that money's gone.
Well, money in a bank is different than it was during, like, say, the Great Depression. During the Great Depression, when people were trying to pull money out of banks and there was none, that's part of what kind of caused the Great Depression to happen. Like, that's part of the reason it was as bad as it was. And banks now are like so interconnected. Like, I'm sure you've heard of everyone calling on Swift to seize the Russian banks or to freeze the Russian banks.
I think that maybe that's also what I was reading
Y-
about. Maybe that's
y-
what I'm.
Yeah, so Swift is like what connects all the banks around the world. And so, in my mind, Ukraine is on that system. Ukrainian banks are. And so, I would think that the money would still be protected in a bank. But I also definitely understand if everyone's pulling out money, everyone is going to have more money in their hands and they're going to be willing to pay more. And so the cost of everything is going to go way up. And if you go to another country with Ukrainian dollars and your country is in a war, it's like nobody there is going to accept that. So I could definitely see the value of the paper money going down. But I
Oh,
also
for
feel like,
sure. Like, yeah,
yeah,
you have to leave, and you're like, okay, well, my money is now doesn't work.
yeah. But um, I also could see in the long term, uh, like family assets being safe. If somebody has money in a Ukrainian bank, I would imagine after this war ends and the dust settles, which I think eventually it will, um, I I think they would be able to go back to that bank and they would still see everything was in order.
Yeah.
But I'm not a world economist. So
Oh, obviously neither am I. I don't know shit about shit.
yeah, that's like,
I'm over
I'm
there with cheddar.
oh my god.
Um,
Man, dude, I still am kicking myself for not like getting in on that.
dude, I is it? How's it doing?
Oh, I don't know. I put
Oh
I,
yeah.
I put a little bit into it, and then um it went way up, and I'm pretty like ride or die, you know. Like I was like, let's see where it goes, and then when it crashed, I sold for basically what I put in because I was like, I am not gonna lose on this for sure.
Yeah,
But
dude, I
yeah,
multiple occasions I've wanted to put money into 10K, but OpenSea just wasn't giving me the green light, and so I was like, well, maybe this is a sign.
yeah. Did you get my message on that?
I did, but I didn't. I haven't troubleshooted since then. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, could be a sign.
yeah,
Um,
I don't know necessarily. It's
but
just like what's up with this? Like I'm trying to put money into this NFT thing. I read the entire image, that 10K image that you sent me. It seems pretty cool.
yeah,
Um, so it's still though you were telling me, and you're like buy something that you believe in too. And I'm
yeah.
still not necessarily fully bought in, but it's still when are you 100%? I don't know. I don't know because this is still foreign to me. So the whole
That-
NFT space and yeah, the whole thing is still so foreign. Same thing with crypto, and we've been there, done that now, and it's like
yeah,
I still feel like it's sketchy because it is.
it is in a lot of ways. I think the like kind of the freedom that comes with anybody being able to do, pretty much anything on the networks is also one of the like cruxes of, or is the crux of cryptocurrency in general is like now there's scams and rugs and
Yeah.
just tons of garbage because everybody's trying to get a piece. And, things that have worthwhile value sometimes are drowned out by other garbage.
Bro, this is just when Web 2 came out and ads.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
It's like, fuck, are you kidding me? Like, it got my credit card information.
Yes. And that happens. I've known people who have gotten scammed, and it's like there's nothing you can do. There's no government in Ethereum that says, "Hey, you stole from this person."
Yeah, right.
It's like you just have your own wits.
I'm having a hard time with like what to look at on the screen because right now I just have the general chat up, but it's just this Hockataro emoji
Oh yes,
waving at me.
yeah, you can delete. I almost ask you to delete that because I can delete it. Perfect. Because it was so annoying.
Oh my god. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know what else to. Yeah, thank you. That too.
Yeah, I closed it.
Okay, cool. I'm like, what is there a better thing for me to look at? Is there a
Yeah.
easier? Yeah.
Yeah, I think crypto is important because, like, for example, if you want to send money to family overseas, like, it can cost you up to 20% of what you're sending. And you're like, no, if
Yeah,
I
I
put
didn't
it,
even think about that.
and it won't be instant, it'll take a week. You're like, okay, no, I'm going to wrap it into Ethereum. It's going to take 2 minutes, and then I'm going to transfer that to that person's wallet, and then they'll, use their exchange, and it'll be in their bank in an hour.
Yeah, that's
Way faster.
yeah. But it's still so foreign. It's still
Yeah.
so insanely foreign to people. Like even the entire process with Cheddar was such a nightmare.
Yeah, and that's the thing too is um, if somebody makes something and then they don't develop a easy way to use it, it's not going anywhere.
Yeah, and
One of the big things for crypto was like Coinbase and Binance saying, "Yeah, just give us your credit card information and you can purchase and transfer and sell as much as you want."
yeah, basically easy as that.
And I think that's where it's headed. Um, it's only like Bitcoin's only been out 10 years, and maybe 3 of that has been actual use. You know,
You mean like you can actually use the coin in real life without having to transfer it to USD type of thing, without having to pull your coin?
well, there are people that always been doing that. You hear the story of like the guy who bought a pizza with 20,000 Bitcoin and stuff like
What?
that. But yeah, when Bitcoin was like 2 cents or something, somebody bought like 20,000 and bought a pizza with it. And there's examples like that, but they're kind of here and there. And then the last couple years, you have, Bitcoin ATMs and, um, a larger amount of companies buying in Bitcoin and companies keeping their books in Bitcoin. And yeah, it's just kind of wild. And I'm not trying to advocate for Bitcoin, by the way. Like it is kind of the grandfather of cryptocurrency, and it uses way too much energy, and transactions take a pretty long time, and you can't make that many of them in a on a block. If you know what a block in the blockchain is, you can't put very many transactions on a Bitcoin block. And I don't know. I think unless the people working on Bitcoin, who are all volunteers, um,
Well,
do so, yeah, essentially. From what I understand,
I mean, they're volunteers, but they all have massive amounts of Bitcoin. So
yeah, they're probably all miners and stuff, you know.
yeah, there's got to be some incentive.
Yeah, but they also probably like just believe in it.
Oh,
But
sure.
if they can't solve the problem of like energy usage um and increase transaction time, there's already tons of cryptocurrencies that have solved that problem and work great and are easier to use. You know.
I.e., what?
Well, Ethereum for one. Ethereum works the same way as Bitcoin, but um, so Bitcoin uses 800 to 1500 kilowatt hours per transaction. So that's a measurement of electricity. And to compare, if you swipe like your debit card, that's about 0.45 kilowatt hours. And so if you're making a transaction with Bitcoin versus a debit card, Bitcoin's using like uh, what is that, like 3,000 times more energy.
Wow.
Yeah. And so Ethereum uses about 30 something kilowatt hours, which is still a lot. But they're also trying to move to proof of stake, which is another way of verifying transactions. And proof of stake actually, from the proof of stake cryptocurrencies I have seen, use less than a debit card transaction. So, for example, Algorand is a cryptocurrency um, very similar to Ethereum. Has the ability to use smart contracts, and it's proof of stake, and it uses, I think it's like 0.00008 kilowatt hours per transaction.
Wow.
Yeah. Um,
So a lot less than a debit card swipe.
yes. Yeah.
Hmm.
And which is kind of funny because there's a lot of people that complain about, like, they're like, Bitcoin's killing the planet. It's like, okay, well, it is contributing. It's not.
You're like, well, you're not necessarily lying.
It's, well, that, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, it's a problem. We should solve it. But there's also things that
Oh, totally.
contribute like way more,
For
you know.
sure.
And if we started out on like with all of our currency using that 0.0008, and then somebody invented the 0.45, like, people would lose their minds that way. So I think it's all perspective. And
Yeah, that's totally super
yeah,
true.
yeah. I mean, I definitely want to see those electrical costs and electrical usages reduced, just because it's a waste. It's
Yeah.
like we could be doing so much, so much more, instead of just verifying that um, money has gone somewhere.
But man, that's the weirdest feeling, watching your money in limbo.
Mm-hmm.
Those
It is not a good feeling every time.
3 to 11 minutes
Yeah.
that it basically tells you. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, this could take up to 3 to like 10 minutes, 11
Yeah.
minutes. And
Yeah.
you're like, you better not.
Yeah.
It better be 3. It better be less than 3.
And you can go to, you can watch that transaction happen in real time. You can watch every step it takes. I don't remember what the Bitcoin one is called, but the Ethereum one is called Etherscan. And so, like, if you send your Ether somewhere, it'll pop up on Etherscan, and it will be like, okay, where is the transaction? And I don't remember all the steps, but it's something like, it's in a miner's queue, and then it's being sorted, and then it's being verified, and then it's being like written or something like that. So you can
Bro,
watch it.
I don't know if I told you this, and I'll keep it basically secret, but basically, my brother was moving cheddar
Oh, you
and
told
was,
me about this.
bro,
Yeah, sad. Has he contacted Coinbase? He did, right?
I don't know. But basically, to anyone who would ever listen to this, Um, my brother sent Cheddar, which is not available on Coinbase. And he did not convert it to Ethereum, and he just sent all of his Cheddar to Coinbase.
Yeah.
And it will not show up in his portfolio because it's not supported. So,
Yeah.
oh man,
In my mind, it's in one of Coinbase's wallets. They have access to those wallets. So they should be able to fix it for him. But that's kind of a large ask for a billion-dollar company.
yeah, but I bet that stuff happens
If
all the time.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
wonder how much digging he's actually gone into trying to get that transaction sent back.
Yeah. Yeah, what was it? It was like 50 grand or something worth?
No, it wasn't that
Oh,
much. It
well,
wasn't that much, but still.
yeah, but now Cheddar has also tanked, so it's probably like one
Yeah,
1/30th of what it
I
was.
just feel bad. Exactly. Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah, and that's another thing that's hard about cryptocurrency is everything is so confusing and your money can't disappear like that. You
Bro,
know?
you got to be careful.
Yeah.
You have to slow down. You have to make sure you're doing the right steps.
Yeah.
That's why I get so scared, man.
Yeah. I understand.
I even did the like 3 to 5 day transaction thing to my bank, and I'm like, I stress. I'm like,
Well,
this is
yeah. At that point, it's two banks though, so it's a little more. Um, it can be changed by the bank a little easier than something being changed on the blockchain.
yeah, but still, I'm like, okay, now I don't have anything in my Coinbase or in my bank account.
Or in my
What it like? This feels wrong. This feels like
yeah,
I need to get this fixed like now.
yeah, yeah,
It even asked like for the instant transfer. It was like X. I was like, so much money. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that.
yeah. They do it by percentage, huh?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
crazy. I was like, no, I'll risk the 3 to 5 days.
yeah. I do the same.
Bro, you haven't played much of anything since Halo Infinite, huh?
Well, I was playing a game today.
What were we playing?
I was playing this game called Nightscape. I'm glad I get to talk about it actually. It was again, I was on Reddit, and these two brothers quit their job to make a mobile game, and it's night, like at night, skate, and it's just like a single button skating game where it's like the same graphics as like original Nintendo, like Nintendo Entertainment System. And I feel kind of silly because it's a mobile game, but it's so much fun. It's
Nightscape. Okay, I'm gonna look it up in the App Store right now.
do it.
You said it's on the phone.
It's on the phone. It's super fun. The music slaps like, and it's hard. It's kind of It's like the same frustration as like Flappy Bird, honestly. Probably less so. But the whole
Night
thing,
skate, like skateboard.
yeah.
2 words.
I think so.
Night skate. Yeah, kind of a darker. Oh yeah, dude, it's $3.
Yeah. And I was like, you guys quit your job to make this like hella fun game? Like I was like, yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Whatever.
fuck it, I'll buy it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all about like stringing combos together though. Like you're like grind, like land on the bird's head, land on the light pole, like go down, kick off the cone, grind again.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I
cool.
see. That looks dope. How
And the
hard do you
last
think it would be to design a game like this? Looks beautiful. Like
I think the hardest part about designing this game really is probably the art.
the art.
Because
Yeah.
yeah, because like code wise, you got one button. You only have up and down for gravity. You know, I mean, gravity's always up and down, but if you're in a 3D environment, it's like it gets a little hairy. On a 2D environment, it's much easier to do gravity. It's just it's up and down.
Sweet. Well, it's downloaded.
Um,
It's on my phone now, so I'll be able to play that after this. It sounds
yeah,
sick.
I look forward to hearing. But I've like coded games a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know. I can't imagine it was too hard. But there's a lot of parts of a game that like are separate from the code. You know, there's the artwork and there's the music, and then you gotta like kind of marry everything so it all has the same vibe.
Yeah, like the same aesthetic.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, what's
That's gonna
cool
be
is like,
so hard.
oh yeah, I bet. I mean, well, yeah, I know. Like,
Well, and like being one person.
well, it was two people, but
Sure,
yeah,
but like even if it's a solo, like how do you? Man, it's just so creating games is insane.
yeah. I can't like, I can't even really fathom the like AAA games that come out.
Yeah,
Like Witcher 3, I spent like almost 300 hours playing Witcher 3, and it's like, damn, like thousands of people spent years of their life so I could do this. So I could like,
it was their job. Yeah.
yeah, like listen to their stories, participate in their stories, you know. Um, I'm excited about Elden Ring that just came out.
Okay, that was gonna be my question for you. That was gonna be my main, like, because I was gonna ask you what you thought about it, and what makes that different from any of the other Souls games.
Well, the Souls games, I haven't played it yet. I don't really plan to play it for a while because I know that they're going to release DLC, and I kind of want to experience everything all at once.
Okay.
Because I imagine it's going to be a game that I play through multiple times, and just based off the reviews I've seen, where they're like, it doesn't keep track of the story for you. It doesn't give you quest markers. If somebody gives you a quest, like you have to remember that quest. Like, you know, there's no journal where you're like, what quests do I have? It's like, well, do you remember who you talked to? And so
Damn.
I imagine I'll be playing it multiple times. And so if there's DLC, I don't want to jump into a game like that I haven't played in 6 months waiting for DLC and then be like, all right, what am I doing? What does this sword do? I'd rather just kind of play it all at once. But I don't know. I might change my mind on that. Um, you asked how it was different than other Souls games.
Correct.
I think so. Do you remember playing the original Fable?
Yes.
Yeah. So the original Fable had like zones, kind of. Everything was
Hmm.
pretty linear, but it had zones. Like if you went to the forest, it was like a path through the forest. And then if you went to like a town, you know, it was of course town. You know, a mountain was a path through the mountains. Everything was very path orientated, and it seems like from the reviews I've seen, haven't played, that Elden Ring is much more open world the way we think of open world. So the other
Hmm.
Souls games didn't have those wide open areas where you could literally go in every direction. It was kind of like this linear web where you would take one path and then it might split into two paths and you could, you know, go left or right.
Yep.
Or you would meet like an intersection of four different paths and there'd be a bonfire and you'd be like, okay, well, I'll go, you know, these different ways. That's the vibe I've been getting.
Nice.
Yeah, and it seems really fun. I was excited to see that one of the starting classes is samurai because I
Cool.
loved, oh fuck, Sekiro. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
The the
No, no, no,
feudal
no. I know
Japan
exactly
game.
what you're talking about.
Yes, it's Sekiro, right?
Well, I think I've heard people say Sicario.
That is the Spanish word for assassin.
Oh, is that even that's a movie, right?
Yeah, it is a movie.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm saying. Wait.
Yeah, I loved Sekiro. I think I might have
Did
liked
you
it.
play that?
Yeah, played it all the way through. Couldn't
Oh,
beat the
wow.
final boss.
That's frustrating.
It was.
How
It was
long did you spend doing that?
too long. I just
So you're
couldn't do
like,
it. Yeah, I just couldn't
yeah.
do it. I was like, whatever. I'll just uninstall.
Oh my god. Is that what you did?
Yeah.
Did you pay for it or did you torrent it?
I torrented it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and I'd like to purchase it at some time, but
Whatever.
another,
Yeah, whatever. That's like LimeWire back in the day, and it's like, this is my favorite band. It's like, well, did you pay for it? I'm like, well, I'll pay for it later.
I used to kind of like my excuse for torrenting music back in the day was like, well, I'll buy a T-shirt from the website.
And, yeah, and the thing is, we would.
Yeah, it's like then I'm like an advertisement, and they got my money.
And I know all of the lyrics before the album even came out.
Exactly. Yeah, that's where I got Goldberg's out.
Shut up.
Not really. Not really.
I'm like, it's free anyway.
Is it?
Yeah, everywhere. It's basically free, I
That's
think.
funny.
I'm sure if you go to the Bandcamp and you just press $0, like you have to press buy.
Oh yeah.
But you just put $0 and it's like download. I'm like, motherfuckers. But really, like as a musician, you want someone to just have the music for free.
Yeah.
Which is so crazy, right? Like, what was it? Metallica sued Napster like back in the day. They're like the main band to sue Napster, and I think they won.
I think they did. I forgot about that.
But like, to save what? And then fast forward 5 years, you want those people to have their music on. You kind of wanted those people to illegally download your music, and then you think of like
where the artists are like, "Hey, illegally download our music because the record label doesn't even pay us."
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think of stories like, and this is crazy, that like Soulja Boy would post his song on LimeWire as Nickelback, as Korn, as Megadeth, as he would post on the top 20. So then
funny.
You would download Coldplay's new song, and it would be like, you'd be like, what the fuck? My lime green iPod Mini.
Ultimate advertising.
Yeah, I was like, that's motherfucker's so smart.
I don't think I ever got something I didn't expect when I torrented.
Oh, so much Soulja Boy.
The worst thing I got. That was great because of how intuitive it was. Like Windows, it used to be like, how do I get to the internet? And it's like buried like 8 applications down. And you're like, why is the internet buried 8 applications down? And then Mac is like, boom, this is Safari. Like it's on the taskbar.
Yeah, I always thought that people's argument for Mac being hard to use, I was like, their UI is literally based around click and fucking drag.
Yeah, totally.
They are like, oh, you want this thing here? Click it and drag it.
Yeah.
Where Windows, you'd have to open up run.
Yeah, back in the day.
And I'm like,
You're like
no,
right click, send to.
I'm not learning that shit.
Yeah, yeah, man. And I think Mac also just hit at that perfect time when Windows Vista came out, and it was just a mess.
Yeah,
I remember
Vista.
my dad was excited about it when it came out, because he was an IT guy. We got a new computer and it had Vista,
I remember the computer in the living room.
the black Dell.
Yes.
Yes. We're both like, yes.
We
On that orange oak desk. Yeah.
we played a lot of shitty games on that thing.
Yeah, like online games, addicting games.
Addicting games, yeah. There's one game specifically I remember us playing. We would never get very good at it, but we would just kind of log in and kind of dungeon crawl. I don't even remember the name of the
Oh,
game.
I was trying to find that so hard,
You know what
like
I'm talking about?
a couple months ago. Yeah, and you would have a knight with like bat wings on his helmet.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Like what was that? And it was browser based. I remember you didn't have to download it.
Yeah, it was essentially what like RuneScape was to WoW. This game was to RuneScape.
But it was so cheap.
It was.
It was the cheapest piece of shit ever.
All of the weapons were one color.
Wait, I remember. Yes, I remember too. On the same website, there was a space game that you could do, and that was also
Yes.
online. You could be on the
Big
moon.
soccer ball and the like go-karts.
Where
They
the
weren't
fuck was
go-karts.
that? Was that on addictinggames.com or something like that?
No, it was a specific website. Like it was like
Miniclip.
yeah,
Was it Miniclip?
I don't know. I thought it was like each game had its own website, like you type into the URL like moon.
Yeah, but those two games were by the same developer. I remember those
totally,
two
yeah.
games looking basically identical. Like it was
Yeah.
just they wrapped space suits over the night and made it fucking no gravity. Like
Oh. And now there's Moonbase Alpha.
now we're in VR, bro.
We are in VR. Sword Art Online is real.
Whoa. Have you experienced much VR? Do you have one?
I don't have one. They kind of make me sick, and none of the games are very fun. So
So
I
did I tell you I got an Oculus?
yeah, I saw it. Yeah, I mean, I didn't use it, but
Dude, it makes me sick.
yeah,
I should have tried someone's before I bought it.
you have to move. Like you have to stay as still as possible and just look around, because otherwise, what you're seeing and what your body's experiencing are like recipes for vomit.
Oh, man.
Recipes for puke.
I take the headset off and I feel sick for hours.
Yeah, like you got to lay down afterwards.
Most definitely.
Yeah, that happens to me too.
I'm like, should I be driving after this?
You know what happens to me when I get like nauseous kind of vertigo like that is I fall asleep. Like my body's like, go to bed. Sleep this poison off. Because that's what it is actually, is your body
Keep
thinks that
this
it's poison.
poison off.
That's what it is your body thinks that it's been poisoned.
When it's nauseous like that, when it's like dizzy.
Yeah, that's your body being like, bro, we're poisoned. 10 poison damage just happened.
Damn.
And
Damn. That's crazy to think about.
yeah, I got seasick once, which I don't usually get seasick, but I went into the bathroom, and it was like smaller than a porta potty. And I'm in there, and we're getting hit by three directions, and man, dude, it was not good. And I stumbled out of there, and I was so sick. But I don't really get pukey, and it was like I sat down, and my body was like, "Click, we're going to bed." And I remember.
Hey, at least you went to sleep.
Yeah, I was like sitting in a chair that wasn't nailed into the floor or wasn't connected into the floor.
Oh no.
And so literally the ship would pitch up and the chair would lean back, and then the ship would crest the wave and go down, and the chair would like slam forward onto the deck. And I fell asleep in a chair like that.
This is making me sick thinking about this story. So, why do you think though that kids can just fucking put that thing on and play for 10 hours?
It has to do with some inner ear development or something like that.
Yeah.
Because that is part of the reason that your body thinks it's been poisoned is the balance, or the fluid balance in the inner ear is different than what your body's feeling or something like that. Same thing, if you spin, it throws all the fluid balance to one side, and your body's like, well, we aren't laying down, we must be poisoned. I don't know. I feel like somebody's gonna listen to this and they're gonna be like, "That's wrong."
No one's gonna listen to this. And that's why it's perfect. That's why you can say whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, it's something like that though.
That it's crazy because the older I get, I feel like I'm more. I don't know what vertigo is like, but I feel like I'm more prone to vertigo.
Yeah.
Especially with all the loud music I've been around and just surrounded by constant just blasting in my ears.
Man, does that really affect
Well, I'm thinking I've gone to sleep so many times, more than I can remember. I went to sleep of just from a show.
Oh yeah.
How many times do you do that until you start feeling sick to your stomach?
Yeah.
At what point does that start to damage your? Because I've always heard the same thing of it's in your ears. It's that type of thing.
Well, I think that is caused by hairs in your ears. Well, that's caused by a couple reasons, and one I'll talk about in a second because it's really interesting. But a lot of times, for tinnitus, I think that's caused by the hairs in your ear dying. The small hairs, they die, and then your brain still picks up signals from the dead hairs or something.
Oh, gross.
Yeah, something like that. Gross is right. But your ears can also do that, especially in people who have ADD or ADHD, just because the brain gets bored. The brain, literally, from what scientists can tell, is I'm bored, I'm gonna make sound, and so I'm so bored.
Yeah, bodies are weird.
Dude, bodies are crazy.
That's so funny to think about poison. Yo, you're dizzy, you're poison, bruh.
You're poisoned, bro. That's the same way you get sick when you drink alcohol. Your body's
Yeah,
oh,
it's
we've been
true.
poisoned.
It's
Dude,
true.
have you heard of Alkalel?
What the fuck is that?
Alkalel is the no hangover alcohol that's being developed in England. And is on.
Alkalel?
Yeah, I think it's Alkalel. I'm gonna look it up.
Pull it up, Jamie. I need a Jamie. No.
Call Jamie right now.
See, that's the thing about this is you could just be on here and just pull your own shit up because you're just in front of the,
Yeah. Synthetic alcohol. Oh, Alcarel. Yeah, so Alcarel, Alcarelle, is being developed in England. You can buy it off shelves right now. I'm pitching that.
Yeah,
I work for
now
Alcarel.
for a minute for our sponsors. Alcarel. You won't get fucking hangovers.
Yeah, but when they initially were trying to develop it, they were trying to make something that you could take that would just erase all of the effects of alcohol. But they ended up making one that still got you drunk, but gave you no hangovers.
That just sounds. It
just Star Trek.
Yeah, what?
There's an episode of Star Trek where Next Generation, where they rescue Scotty, who's the engineer from the original series, and he takes a drink at the bar, and he's like, "What the fuck is this?" And they're like, "It's synthahol," or whatever they call it. And he's like, "Get me some real shit. I want to feel like shit after I drink this.
Give me some Star Wars shit.
Give me some Cantina
Yeah.
blue milk.
Yeah. Get me the fuck out of this pussy Star Trek world. Give me some real shit now. Dude, when was the last time you went to Disney?
Ooh, 16, I think. 15, maybe.
Dude, so like 5-6 years ago.
Yeah. And now Disney is like,
Yup.
dude, not 5 or 6 years ago. 10. It's been a decade.
26.
15
Oh.
or 16, my age. Not 2015, 2016.
Oh.
My
wow.
age.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were. Yeah.
No, yeah. Last time I went was in high school. I don't know. Usually when I go on vacation, I want to be in like the woods. I don't like being around it. I feel like people gotta hype me up to go to Disneyland. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah. And actually, right now, I'm sure you saw this article. It's like it's cheaper to fly to Paris and stay for a week than go to Disneyland now.
What?
Than to stay at Disneyland.
Send me that
for a week.
article and the links to Paris.
But although what they included in the cost was staying in the Disneyland hotels.
Oh,
So that is probably where they.
and are they talking about Disney World?
No, in Anaheim, California.
No way. Well, see, the thing you got to do it. You got to buy the pass. Like Shell and I got the season pass.
Just that, like 1,500
for two people. For two people, it was 12 something.
Oh, cheaper than. Oh, damn.
So
I feel like you could pay that off in one trip.
Dude, so the season pass is if you go 3 times, you paid it off.
3 days.
3 days, yeah.
See, that's one trip for me.
So exactly,
Yeah,
I'm like, then just get the pass. So that's what we did, and it made it so much easier. We went down, we drove.
Gotta drive to California.
Do what? Yeah.
That's the California way.
We could have flew.
Yeah.
Flown. Flown?
Flown. Could have flown.
But we're actually really glad we didn't because we have the passes and we went 2.5 days. We went back at 3 p.m. to take a nap and go back later.
Yeah.
And I think I might have already told you this, but it was so nice because we were like, do we just drive home now? And we're like, yeah, let's just get on the road and get home instead of having to wait for a flight.
Yeah.
Or feel like we wasted a day of we have 2 days, we got to stay till closing.
Yeah, I guess if you...
No, if you're tired, don't stretch it out.
Yeah, if you really wanted to, you could also just rent an Airbnb for a day and be like, fuck it, let's stay an extra day.
Exactly.
You know what? Tomorrow we're hitting Sawyer's Island.
Exactly.
What is it? Sawyer's Island? It's Pirates Island now, right?
What is it? Yeah, it's a Pirates thing now. Yeah.
I understand. They got to stay relevant.
Yeah. Hey, well, I'm gonna call it on this. Mainly because I'm getting hungry, but I want to. This is fun. I think it will be cool to upload this. Maybe even just keep it on a Google Drive. Be able to listen to it later on, and maybe get some more conversations and. Yeah, just for fun.
Yeah. Thanks everybody for listening, and
make sure to fact check us on everything we said.
Yeah. Be sure to put it in the comments.
Yes.
Fact check us in the comments.
Yeah, wherever you would comment. I don't necessarily know what that would be. But like and subscribe.
Yeah, like and subscribe.
Okay, sweet.
All right, cool. Hey, let me know what you think of Nightskate. You'll probably get irritated with it the first few times you die, but you just got to get past that.
I will. I will. I'm gonna... Yeah, okay. Nightskate.